Hey guys, what's up? I'm Kimberly. Welcome to Songbird Homestead. I am a backyard homesteader on just about 3/4 of an acre up in the town and area of Northeast Maryland, Zone 7B. I've been in this area. This will be my third summer here. We moved here midsummer of 2023. So we didn't have a full season that year. Last year was our first full season, so this is our second full season coming up, which is pretty exciting. My husband and I we're empty nesters. We have 4 young adult-ish, late 20s, early 30s. I guess they are, and then we have 1 grandson. We have 4 children, I think I said that. But anyway, so we're empty nesters, so just the 2 of us. We both work full-time outside of the home. And we've been doing this, like I said, we started homesteading. I guess it depends on what you consider homesteading. We had a garden, and then we started just doing all the things. I guess our first garden was, I never remember, like 2014, 2015. We did like a garden for a year, and it was accidentally successful, let me put it that way. And if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. But we didn't do it again until, like a lot of people, COVID hit, and then we were home, and we, decided to grow a couple things, and one thing led to another, and then it fast became a way of life for us. Now we do work full-time outside the home, which can be tricky. I've talked about in previous videos about how I manage the time and how I do the things and get done what I get done, also while working a full-time job. Now, one thing that's beneficial for me is I was working about 50 minute drive from me. And I recently left that job, that employer, and I switched to something, I don't want to say better, but something better, and much closer to home. And when I say better, just, better situation for me, and it is a lot closer. So, I do have that does build a little more time into my day. But again, we do this full time. We work full time. I do this, I guess, part time. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of my waking hours are spent doing this. It's mid-February. We just had Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there. I had an amazing, basically 3-day weekend with my husband, who always makes every day special, but holidays, he just, I don't know, he does it extra. So, and I don't even mean spending a lot of money, so I'm pretty, I don't want to say cheap, I'm resourceful, and I don't like to spend unnecessary money, and he's kind of the same way. So we figure ways to do things, with less expense. So we did have a low-key, low money involved Valentine's weekend. But anyway, regardless, mid-February, it's the time of the year. I don't know how many beginning gardeners are out there. I was thinking about just how long I've been doing this. So 2020 was our first year. We put some peppers in, and then so 2021. So what? This will be my 6th season, which seems crazy to me, right? I was thinking about how far I've come, but also not only how far I've come, but how far I've come about the journey. So I was thinking how all those little baby steps, all those little, microscopic, advances you make, all the things that you're learning, and just thinking about how all of that leads you. One day, it's one step at a time, baby steps. And then one day, next thing you know, you're doing, you have chickens and you're harvesting eggs, and you're pulling out, I pulled garlic out of my reserve that I had, that I grew, that I planted in 2023, that I harvested in 24, and now we're eating it now. So, you think, one little thing at a time, you don't always see the progress, but then you look back. There's a quote I've probably said on here before. Oh gosh, how's it go? Day to day, nothing changes, but when you look back, everything has changed. And that's how I feel gardening is. Like you just got to keep moving forward. And I know there are a lot of people this time of the year, all the big box stores are getting geared up. Tractor Supply Company is, getting together to get their chicks in. All the stores, you're getting seeds, and you see trays and all of that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pour a little cup of tea. I was getting ready to start this and I thought, you know what, let me sit down and just do a quick little video for anyone out there. Anyway, just say my little tea. There we go. This is a peach ginger tea that I like. But anyway, regardless, so I figured I'd sit down and talk to some people, just lend some words of encouragement. Again, you know, I have another saying that I say, it's slow and steady gives you plenty. And, you know, I never imagined back in 2020 when I bought those first couple pepper plants, you know, just so I could make hot sauce for my husband. That was really my goal. We like hot foods. He likes really hot food. So we grew some pepper. I grew some peppers for him, and he was astonished. He had never really had freshly picked stuff like that. So he was really amazed. So one thing led to another. We put another bed. And again, some of that's on here in past videos if you want to go look and see. But, you know, the advice I would have to a new gardener would be, don't get overwhelmed because there's so much information out there. Keep it as simple as you can. You know, I don't consider myself in any way an expert. And I think that's a lot of, you know, I don't know, I'm just me, right? I'm not some big influencer. I'm not trying to be some big influencer. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I just want to normalize this kind of life, these behaviors. I don't even want to call it this kind of life, but I want to normalize these behaviors, you know. And I think there are so many people, and there are people that I talk to that just don't know. I think people think it's harder than it is, and maybe that's because they haven't seen it. They don't have experience with it, and it can be, I mean, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of books, a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube and Instagram and Facebook groups, and there's so much information out there. You know, it's hard to know, like, what kind of things you can grow, or, you know, you see pictures of things and they can be pretty elaborate, but yours doesn't have to look like that. You can just, I mean, you can grow containers on your patio, or on your porch, or, you know, even if you just have a small yard, you can just, you know, have a little bed of, you know, a couple little plants. I mean, anything you're doing can be helpful. Again, we never really thought we would be where we are on, and 3/4 of an acre is, it's not a lot of land. It's not a little bit of land either. It's the exact amount of land that my husband and I need. But we moved here. We moved from like 1/5 of an acre, I think. Little lemon for my tea. Lemon and honey, that's all I do in my tea. But, you know, we quickly outgrew. Plus, we didn't really like the area. We wanted to be in a different kind of area. So, you know, when we started that, the evolution of something sometimes can be happening in front of you and you don't even realize it. So I would encourage, you know, new beginner gardeners, don't get overwhelmed. Get a container. I'm doing this in my kitchen because I do have a garage, a big workshop area, a nice planting area in there. But let me tell you what, it's cold, and this girl does not like cold. I'm just not a fan of winter. I don't like it. Even with my hair, you know, it was strawberry blonde, redhead my whole life, and even with that, I love being out in the sun. I don't know, I like warm, you know. It's no coincidence that my kitchen is yellow. It's not as bright as it looks in the video, but you know, I love the sun. I love being outside. I love the warm temperatures and all of that. So I am not about to spend time it's cold out there. And I think, like, today it's very windy, so I think it's only in the 20s right now. It was like 9 degrees when I got up this morning to go to work. So I'm not about that. So I'm not going to complicate it. I don't have a greenhouse outside. I would love a greenhouse, like a little something, I don't know, 6x9 or 10x12, you know, little, that's maybe a goal for me. That's something that it's in the back of my goals. But there's so many other things that I would like to have before that. So here's what I did. I brought my tray in. Well, actually what I did was, because I don't have a lot of time, I went Saturday and I pulled out my trays. I got them ready. And I just have 2 trays here, and these are trays that I've used a couple years in a row. Now, some of these are pretty cheap, so they don't really, you know, there are some that don't make it year to year. Like I had to throw some of them away. But so I got my trays just organized just to see what I had. Then yesterday I took a half an hour and I filled them up with dirt. My husband was in the garage. He was doing some other stuff. So I was out there, but he was doing that. We had our music playing. I filled up my 2 trays. I've got 36, right? 6 times 3, yep, times 2, yep. So I have 36 little cells here. Low key, I'm just gonna sit at my kitchen table, plant some peppers, label them, put them on the side, and then boom, I have 2 trays of peppers, you know, that I'm growing, that are, you know, ready. They can't go in the ground until May, so you do have to look and see, excuse me, you do have to look and see what in your area, you know, what your frost is when, you know, when your things can go on the ground. I know that here for us, it's like right around Mother's Day. So I'm gonna get these started because they do take, I think, like 10 weeks or something like that. My honey, ooh, there we go. This is from a local honey lady, Miss Suzette, Rock Run Hollow honey, in Port Deposit. Amazing honey. I've never really liked honey before. I just didn't like it. And then I started, I don't know, I bought this for my husband and I absolutely love it. But it's the only honey that I'll eat. But anyway, regardless. So yeah, so then I have these here. I'm going to start my peppers. Again, I'm doing 2 trays of probably 2 kinds of peppers. The reason for that is because I want a lot of peppers. You might not want, well, let's see what I'm going to do first. So these are the West Indies red habanero. See that? I don't know. Looks like it's not coming through. So my husband loves habanero peppers. So I'm probably going to do, I'll probably do like not just 9 plants of just this. And then I have some other ones. This is a Puma. It's another hot pepper. I'll probably do 9 of those. And then I have these long thin cayennes. I will probably do these long cayennes. I'll probably do 9 of each. And these are dragon cayennes. I have 2 packs. I really need to do a whole tray of cayennes. Yeah, maybe I'll do 9 and 9. I don't know. And that might not even be enough. Every year I plant peppers, so like I said, you know, my husband loves hot peppers and I use them for a lot of stuff. So we use them to cook with regularly. Then I pickle them to jar for the winter. And then I dry them, and then I dry them, I dehydrate them, and then I grind them, and we use them for chili powder. So, you know, the chili powder you buy at the store, I mean, we don't buy that. We just, a lot of herbs and that kind of thing we do. I grow, and then I just dry them and put them in jars, and then that's it. And it really is that simple. You know, if you want dried basil, and I'll come back to the peppers, but if you want like if you guys like basil, or you like oregano or thyme or sage or even mint, whatever it is you like, you can, you know, grow a couple basil plants too. Put them in a big container, and then once they're growing, you cut them, let them dry, hang them up and dry, and then just crumble them and put them in a jar. It really can be that simple. There's no pesticides, or you don't have to go out, you know, you're buying, you know, a pack of seeds. And you know what? Maybe you don't want to start plants from seeds. Maybe that's, you know, I should back up. Maybe that's a little bit of a step that you don't want to do. And that's okay. You don't have to do it this way. This is what this looks like for me. Because quite frankly, I grow a lot of plants. I'm going to start hundreds of plants in the spring. So if I had to buy those, you know, at $5 you know, yeah, I'd have over $1,000 probably in plants if I bought them. This way I go through my catalogs, I order my seeds, and I do it that way. But if you're a beginner gardener, I would say pick a couple of things, you know, and just go, you know, you can go to Lowe's, you can go to Home Depot, I don't know, wherever, you know, a local nursery or whatever, and, you know, pick the plants that you want. Now they do have less of a variety, which this is, for me, this is some of my hot peppers, right? this is just some of the varieties I have. And then I have more here. There's more over here. And I have more in my store, I have a card catalog, an old library card catalog with drawers on it, which I absolutely love. I'm a huge book nerd. I love books and reading. So the library is like a special place for me. So this is an old metal card catalog that my husband bought me for Christmas a couple years ago, maybe 23. So not this Christmas, but the one before that. Anyway, that's where I keep my seeds in. I have more hot pepper seeds in there. Not just my hot peppers. I like the variety, but I have the land and the wherewithal, and I have graduated and evolved to a place where I can do that. When I was just starting out, I went to Home Depot and I bought like a couple of Dragon Cayennes, which is what one of these are. Dragon Cayennes, and again, this was the one that my husband, he really loved these, and they were actually hard to find for a couple years. So when I find them, I buy a couple packs, plus I save seeds. But regardless, when I first started out, I went to Home Depot. I had like 2 pots. I grew them in a couple pots, and they were successful. So then we did a bed. My husband built a little raised bed, and then the next year we built a second bed. We put in some fruit bushes, which have never really been very successful for me, but I don't know. Anyway, regardless, maybe you don't want to plant from seeds. Maybe you just want to plant from, you just want to buy the plants themselves and take care of them, and that's fine. The thing about plants is you have to give them attention. The best thing for, a plant is giving it your attention. You can't just ignore it for a week. You have to regularly, where did I hear this? The best medicine for the garden is the gardener. Just on Roots and Refuge. I feel like I quote her a lot, but she's like one of my heroes. I really enjoy her stuff. Roots and Refuge, if you haven't seen Jessica Savage, amazing. Her content, I love her content. She has books, she has podcasts. She's just really been instrumental in the changes that I've learned a lot from her anyway. But regardless, I think she said that the best medicine for the garden is the gardener. Something to that effect. Meaning, if that's where you're putting your attention, you're going to see if your plants start looking a little dry. You're going to see if they start drooping. You're going to see if there's, an insect on there, or when your fruit or your vegetable or whatever is ready to be picked, you're gonna start to notice, day to day what that looks like, and just keeping an eye on it is the best way. That's something I would definitely recommend. So, get yourself a couple of plants. Find a container, a couple, whatever, and just water them. Not too much sun. You got to read the label, and then you'll, and if there's anything in particular, you can look it up. I know tomatoes, they like a lot of sun. Some things they don't care as much. But I wouldn't plant anything I think most things need at least like 8 hours of sun. If you have a very shady area, like my one side of my property, on one side over here, there's a big tree next to my chicken coop, and I wouldn't plant anything there. One, grass doesn't really grow there very well because it just doesn't, because it's so shady. But yeah, if you have the heart for it, or you're thinking like you want to start gardening, I would definitely do it. One thing that we're talking about doing now, and everything feels scary when you first do it, right? Everything. Oh, that's amazing. Oh gosh, that's so good. Everything's kind of scary. Like when we, built our first beds, we were like, all right, this feels like overwhelming because, we've got lots and lots of plants. And then we decided that we wanted chickens. And I'm the kind of person, I don't jump in anything. Like I especially with something that I'm taking care of, living creatures, I wanted to make sure that I could give them the best chance of survival. So I did, I researched my tail end off. I did. And then we got, we had chickens, and we were scared. Like last year, we brought home these little tiny baby chicks. Oh my gosh, they were so stinking cute. And now I feel like very soon after we had them, it was very evident, like, okay, this isn't as hard and as scary as we thought it was. But we did a lot of research on the front end as far as like the coop, which my husband built. Mind you, maybe he had, I think he built a door once for our old deck at our old house. Like, he's not a builder. He built a whole dang coop, y'all. Like, he built a whole coop. I'm so proud of him. It's really cute. One day, I'm gonna have him do a coop tour and like just talk about some of the features and some of the things and decisions and why he did what he did and how it's working and all that. Because I really feel like he was wildly, again, accidentally successful. That's what I should have called this, the accidentally successful homestead, because some of the stuff, like, I can't believe the success that we've had. I feel like it's a lot of it's just common sense. But anyway, he hit me today with, I think we should get bees. I'm ready. I'm here for it, But again, I would like to be successful at that. And I don't want to invest the money and all that. And plus, I don't want the bees to die. So it's something that it's our next thing. Where we've decided bees are going to be our thing, and I'm terrified because I'm not really afraid of getting stung, but I still like I don't know. Bees to me seem very like scary. So, but again, when you're starting out, start small. Learn what you can, start small, and if you fail, you know what? Okay, right? Okay. Is that, it's okay, within reason. Like I said, I don't want to spend a lot of money and then lose a bunch of bees, and I don't want the bees to die, but yeah, gardening doesn't have to be as hard as I think some people think it is. I think a lot of people get in their own way, analysis paralysis and all that jazz. Like, you can't decide, just get a couple of things, start small, or, get a couple herbs, start small, whatever it is, you can do. And if you've already started that and you want to, expand a little bit, that's exciting, good for you. But anyway, I just wanted to, have a little chat, and, if anybody has any questions, there's so many resources. Feel free to message me and comment. Like I said, I am not an expert. Most of the time I hardly feel like I know what I'm doing. And then I'm like, do I really know what I'm doing? And then I look back at like pictures or videos and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I didn't do too bad. I didn't grow up doing this. My mother had tomatoes. I think one time I remember my mom did, I think some tomatoes and some marigolds. I don't even remember if they grew anything. I remember there being a little plot that was like, I don't know, 4x4 on the side of our house, but I don't remember ever having I don't know what happened. If we picked that, I don't remember. I've only started eating tomatoes as an adult, like in the last year or so, and that's minimally. So maybe she picked them and they ate them. I don't know, my parents, but maybe my parents ate them. But yeah, I didn't grow up doing this. I didn't come into it, naturally. I had some exposure to it, in my 20s, maybe 30. Maybe I knew people who, I knew of it and the lifestyle. But me personally, it wasn't until, like I said, we had our first garden and that was accidentally successful. And then we went ahead and, started in 2020 and 21, 22. And then by 20, I guess spring of 23, my husband was like, I said, I think we need a bigger place. And he said, call the realtor. So we did, and 8 weeks later, we signed on this place, and it's just like, boom, here we go. But we do love it. It's very good for my mental health. It's good for our physical health. It's good for, personal reasons. Like, just, I don't know. I like the local factor. I like not being dependent upon the entire food system. Which I feel is very, it's redundant. It's a broken food system. And I know, I'm not going to get into politics, but I think no matter which side of the coin you're on, I think we can agree that it doesn't appear to be getting any better right now. So I'm a little bit hesitant I think people need to be aware of where their food comes from, and have some control over the food that they're going to have access to, because again, I think that I don't know, I feel like control is being taken out of our hands for a lot of different a lot of different things, and I don't like it. So I am doing what I can for my family. I've said this before, I'm doing what I can. I can't control the whole world. I can't control everything that's out there. I can't control government influence. I vote and all that, but even then, I just don't know, I can do what I can do. I can grow my own food, I can, and I can't grow everything that we eat, and I'm not even trying to, but I can grow enough that I feel like I'm having some control, some measure of control and some measure of influence on the things that my family has available to them, and the quality, and the health factor, because like I said, I don't use any chemicals, so I do like that factor. We've gotten to the point where we don't even buy like berries and stuff like that in the off season, because one, they just taste like garbage, and two, I don't know what they're sprayed with. I have no idea. And berries are one of the top things that it gets sprayed, berries and lettuces and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm rambling as I always do. If you watch my videos before, they end up way too long, and I feel like I just ramble, but that's just me. That's who I am. But anyway, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of these. I do have these tags. These are something that I'm gonna get rid of. I'm using what I have of these, but I don't like all this plastic. I'm trying to get rid of this. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and label some things and drop some seeds into some little squares, and hopefully in the end of July, August, I'm gonna have some I'll have some peppers to show for it. But anyway, thanks for stopping by Songbird Homestead. Happy mid-February. I hope you're all warm and toasty, and all that jazz. But I hope to talk to you again soon.